This, as the DOJ watchdog report, remember we are digging into the footnotes, show that an FBI agent used a routine intelligence briefing in August of 2016 to spy on then candidate Trump and then campaign advisor Michael Flynn for the Russia probe. Michael Flynn, he's awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to making false statements to the FBI. He's still fighting his case. Let's welcome to the show Michael Flynn's attorney, former U.S. prosecutor Sidney Powell. Thanks for joining us, Sidney.
Thank you, Liz.
Is there any indication that the U.S. prosecutor John Durham is now probing criminal charges for what happened with your client?
Not necessarily, but it would be hard for him to look very deeply into the entire Russia collusion mess and how it was all put together without coming across things that are going to be helpful to General Flynn. I mean, we know that there was CIA involvement. I think Mr. Durham has Mr. Mifsud's telephones, and Mr. Mifsud was a Western intelligence asset as best we can tell. There may be information there that's helpful, and we know from the Inspector General's report that a number of stunning things went on that we had no idea had happened.
Did any FBI official ever apprise Michael Flynn of his Miranda rights prior to this 2016 briefing that your client attended with then candidate Trump? Because Senator John Cornyn says it's dangerous for federal cops to not say and to basically not tell the people they're talking to that anything they say could be used against them in an investigation potentially involving criminal charges. Did he get his Miranda rights?
Of course not. That didn't happen either time he was interviewed, then or in the White House. And of course, the original interview was completely surreptitious. No one knew that an FBI agent was there to collect information against President Trump or General Flynn. And everyone was appalled when they just learned it, to the point that Director Wray has said that will never happen again. That's an outrageous abuse of FBI power.
Well, it's unconstitutional. We've reported the DOJ watchdog found the Obama administration did know about the FBI's Trump-Russia probe in 2016. We're still digging into this story in the next segment. The Obama administration twice decided not to give the heads up to the president's campaign about the Russian interference probe. Now, during his testimony, something came out that we have not seen before. The IG Horowitz could not rule out political bias in the Page investigation and the prompting of it. Watch this.
Was it your conclusion that there was that political bias did not affect any part of the Page investigation, any part of Crossfire Hurricane? Is that what you concluded?
Not reach that.
Because I could have sworn, in fact, I know for a fact that I've heard that today from this committee, but that's not your conclusion?
We have been very careful in connection with the FISAs for the reasons you mentioned to not reach that conclusion.
Okay, what he's saying is that the congressman there's so many errors, repeated decisions to mislead, lie to the FISA court, trying to find out what the motivation was for all of those problems. It's not just incompetency, it seems. It seems like a political agenda. So Horowitz is not ruling that out.
No, he's definitely not ruling that out, and anyone looking at all the evidence can certainly draw their own conclusions about how and why all of this happened. I imagine Mr. Durham and Attorney General Barr will get additional evidence that's even more damning than what we've seen so far.
Okay, Michael Horowitz, the IG, said he was so alarmed that he fears that there are systemic problems with the FBI FISA process. He has launched a broader review of the FBI's use of the FISA court. Do you see this as a systemic problem? Because we have Republican Devin Nunes saying that twice last year he told the FISA court about these FBI problems and nothing happened. Your response to all of that?
It's a very serious problem. The FISA judges have been rubber stamping anything the FBI has put in front of them. There was no probable cause recited in the Steele dossier or FISA application for Carter Page to the extent we've seen it unredacted. There isn't a single firsthand allegation of any wrongdoing that would have flown in any search warrant I've done in the hundreds I've done in my career. It's absolutely appalling, and I would encourage the FISA court to stand up now and do something meaningful to stop this kind of conduct and enforce their own standards, like hold the people in contempt, bar them from practicing in front of the court, expose their names to everyone, and what would be really good would be if they would invalidate the search warrants. They can go back and declare those FISA warrants absolutely unacceptable and invalid.
So you're saying throw the book at them?
Exactly.
Sidney
Because
Powell.
this has been going on, according to Rosemary Collier's decision, for several years.
It's an unconstitutional issue we're talking about. Sidney Powell, come back soon. Love having you on. Former federal prosecutor Sidney Powell, Michael Flynn's attorney. Great to see you.
Thank you, Liz.